All right, so and we bring in the segment for our best and favorable and worst matches of the weekend. Something new, but something that we're trying to do for our those who cannot contain long content. At least because you guys can enjoy the short one. So in the full video, we talked about the SmackDown. We talked about Clash of Champions, and we also talked about Raw. So, Luisito, if you could name your three favorite match and your three worst match of this past weekend, what would be your pick?
For my worst ones, I'm gonna say the Mandy, Dana Brooke, Lana, and the tag team with Natalia. I would
Okay.
say I personally didn't like the Dominic and um, what's his name, Buddy Murphy match,
Yep.
and I would say just and also not match, but I honestly I didn't like that they didn't have no Raw Underground, a Raw. I was
Ooh.
expecting it, yeah.
So
I was
Raw
missing it.
Underground is part of your worst matches of the.
Yeah, because
Wow.
for
Okay.
me they get a thumbs down because I was expecting 10 o'clock to be like Raw Underground. Let's see, and I was expecting to see Dabba-Kato against Braun Strowman, which was good.
Braun.
So for me, I was looking forward to that, which is crazy thinking about we trashed Raw Underground before, and now I'm like I miss it. Like it was crazy. I don't know how
And
psychology
Shane,
works,
we
but
trust.
yeah,
That's what we have to
which is
believe in.
crazy. But I will say my top three matches are the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. I like the
Okay.
story and everything, how everything's building up to. I also enjoyed the ladder match for Clash of Champions. And I would say I didn't like the results and stuff, but I would say the match and stuff was good. I would say the Keith Lee Andrade one was good. Didn't like the results or the things that went on, but overall, both of them are one of my favorite of the people that I like, and they did a good match. But I wish Andrade would have won. But those I would say those three are my three. How about you?
All right. So if I could start with my worst, right? Easily, I want to say every single match that SmackDown gave us, but that's not completely
Yeah.
true. I'm gonna say first one out of the rib, it has to be the Shinsuke versus Grant Metallic. I
Okay.
feel like that match. Obviously, it was a go away show, but still, I feel like it could have been a little bit better presented. You know what I'm saying? In a sense that the match could have been much either shorter or more effective for both competitor. I feel like Shinsuke really had more of the advantage. It was also obvious too. So I feel like that match really was not one of my favorite. Um, I will have to jump to Raw for my second pick because at Raw, one of the match I'm looking here that I feel like it should have not been even in the whole momentum itself. I'm gonna have to go with the. I lied. It's not a match. It's Christina's story with the Mysterio. Okay, that should never ever be on TV. Like, if they want to do that on Tuesday, cool. You know what I'm saying? If you want to bring drama to the podcast with Corey Grave, Alexa Bliss is doing her thing, which by another thing too, her character on SmackDown is a freaking possessed doll from the Fiend. But yeah, she's doing a podcast looking like a happy, perky,
Mm. Alexa
self.
Bliss, yeah.
What the fudge?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep it consistent, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it consistent. So the Christina story of the Mysterio family needs to end. It's just like it was just straight basura. And my last worst match of the night. I hate to say this, but Matt Riddle versus Corbin. Matt Riddle should not be getting these L's. Matt Riddle should be getting pushed once again to be more of a contender for the IC championship because I think him versus Sami Zayn would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But if what my co-host right here is stating that if Matt Riddle get transferred to Raw, we might see him at the Underground. We might see him more of contendership for the U.S. Championship belt. So I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that's going to look, but I prefer to see him with a belt before leaving SmackDown. But it's mostly
Yeah.
unlikely it's going to happen. Favorable match. Uh, it's not in order, but I definitely got to mention Asuka versus Zelina Vega, for the fact that they did a two-parter on Sunday and also Monday. Let us know that they're trying to build something with my Dominican Prima. Zelina Vega tried to beat, something. But, Asuka is definitely one of my top 5 female of 2020. I'm happy that she's killing it. Asuka was also doing her thing, not only Monday and Tuesday, but twice on Sunday, because she also did a promo match, improv match with Bailey, champion versus champion, which was freaking awesome, which, again, kudos for that. Other favorable match, you got to give it to the Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Yes, it's long. Yes, the story's still continuing, but seeing that each legend got their revenge back at Randy Orton, it kind of like your closing ends, which is something that we've been preaching about since like the whole pandemic. You know what I'm saying? You cannot leave open, ended open stories without, like that. You got to close certain story, and seeing like they got their, their revenge on Randy Orton definitely help us that Drew will have his match once again with Randy Orton, but maybe in a different stipulation. And I don't think it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match, because I don't think Randy's body is ready for that type of beast. And the last match I got to give it to is, I'm going to say Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Apollo Crews versus the Hurt Business. It's something that we see these guys on the main events on Tuesday, trying to lift the brand up, trying to do what they got to do to make that show great. But those guys deserve to be on Raw. Those guys deserve to be having TV time. Those guys even deserve to even try go for either the US belt, as we mentioned earlier in the full episode, or try to go for the tag team belt against the Street Profit, because there's no one else for them to face. There's just no one. So
yeah, that's the only thing. Either that, or we're gonna probably see MVP or do like the Freebird rules and have the Hurt Business with all the titles except the World Heavyweight.
Because like either the Hurt Business does the initiative towards those tag team belts, or you put the Flying Brothers into that match and just build the story from there, because we don't know when the Viking Raiders are returning back. We don't know if any other tag team like Retribution is going to step in. We don't know what's happening with this division on Raw, but one thing for sure is like there are opponents, and Mustafa Ali is on fire. Build that up, end it strong for him before the end of the year. Awesome. Now, any news that we probably missed or didn't mention during the full episode?
They just had they basically named some of the matches that are gonna happen for NXT Takeover. They added the Cruiserweight one, which is good. I think they for NXT 31, I think this weekend, this Sunday, which is gonna be good. They added the Santos Escobar against so basically a quick rundown of NXT Takeover is gonna be Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. North American Championship is gonna be Damian Priest against Johnny Gargano. NXT Women's Title, Io Shirai against Candice LeRae. And the one that just got added was a Cruiserweight title, Santos Escobar against Isaiah Swerve Scott, which should be interesting. And we also have Velveteen Dream against Kushida. That should be interesting as well. I don't know if they're going to add anything more, because we got to see what's going to happen on Wednesday for NXT, which is going to be the go-home show for them for the pay-per-view. And they're also competing with AEW and the NBA Finals, so that should be an interesting week for ratings for them.
Ratings is definitely going to be a big loss for both AEW and
I think it's going to be NXT over AEW. I think AEW is going to maintain their thing. It's on ESPN, the finals. So
yes, but you're losing attraction from TNT to ESPN too, so it's just like
it's gonna be tough. But they have I feel like most of their NXT card built up. I think they might have add a couple of matches we have to see on Wednesday. And I know we saw Sasha at Clash of Champions. I know that they're building a story for Hell in a Cell. I think October 25th, and they have kind of like that on On cue, it's gonna be Bailey and Sasha, depending how how quick she heals up. But she get a month to get better for Hell in a Cell.
Heel? Really? Heel?
No, heal, not heal like turn bad, but like heal to recover from her neck.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she's really injured. They just put her on the side. They just put her in the inactive list just so they could do what they had to do with Bailey and then try to build that story for Hell in a Cell. I believe that match is happening in Hell in a Cell for sure.
Yeah,
but...
so it's so we got a couple of things going on this weekend NXT, and they're building up for Hell in a Cell next month. So there's a lot of things going on for the near future.
All right, guys. So this is our show. Tell us what you think, what you believed in, what excitement you had from COC, and what disappointment you got from SmackDown or from Raw. Because honestly, thank God for that pay-per-view. In our personal opinion. Once again, if you found our show accidentally and you enjoy it, we say, hey, you got to do two things, man. Follow us, man. Just hit the subscribe button and just give us those 5 stars and just enjoy the ride with us. We are on Facebook, Instagram. We are on Twitter. We also on the YouTube. And, those who've been rocking with us since day one, we say thank you, and continue sharing your thoughts and support towards us. We'll continue bringing you guys new materials and hopefully excitement for this podcast. Our audio contents are posted on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for those Android users. Anyway, this is the end of our show. I'm your boy, Jay Aguila.
And this is Luisito.
And we say, buenas noches.
See ya. Good night. See ya.